You are live. That's what
Yes,
it
okay.
says.
All the right buttons are starting to flash before me. Hey, Sherry, all the buttons are going. We are live. We are live with episode 50. 50.
Oh, 50? We're
50.
50. We're
Episode
50 years
50.
old today.
We are 50 today. Isn't that amazing?
I don't even know where
Ah,
50 weeks. Oh my gosh, what a roller coaster the last 50 weeks too. Oh my.
oh, hasn't it? It's been up and down, but it's been a fun ride.
Oh yes, very,
It
very
has
fun.
been
I
a
can't
fun ride.
believe it's been 50 episodes that I get to hang out with Terry Ann every week and have
Every week.
coffee. And today we have matching coffee cups.
Wait, let me get my cup
Walk
up
by
here. Okay.
faith.
Boy, isn't that what so much of our life is? Walking by faith. Just I don't know where I'm going, but I'm by faith I'm going. Hey, I want to go ahead and say welcome to everyone who's joined us. Today is Wednesday, August 25th of 2021. The year's almost over. And it is our 50th episode. We're so excited to have you here. I am Terry Ann Porter, life coach TA. It is time to defeat those lies of negative self talk by changing your perspective, which will reveal to you new possibilities, opening up pathways onto which you can choose to proceed in truth. As always, my co host, the amazing Sherry Berger.
Good morning. Good morning. As Terry Ann has just stated, I'm Sheri Berger, and I am the owner of Here to There Consulting. And we educate business owners with those tools to balance life, business, and finances so that we can be successful, we can have growth, and we can be great leaders in our business and our home. So, welcome, welcome. And today we were just talking about that we have matching coffee cups, and they say walk by faith, right, Terry Ann? You got yours over there too? And that is amazing because today, what are we going to talk about, Terry Ann?
Today's topic is making your business happen. Remember last week we talked about those bumps in the road, the detours, the obstacles, the things that paralyzed us. Something happened. I don't know what to do. So I don't know about you, but I paralyzed. I don't know what to do. I'm just going to stop right here and not move forward.
And
So
sometimes we
today,
just need to walk by faith, right? And move our businesses along the way. So, what is the next right thing you can do? When you
that's a
run
good
into those
question.
situations, what is the best thing to ask yourself, right? Is what is the best next right thing I can do for my business?
Hmm.
And sometimes we
Even
just
if it's
have to
just a
stop
baby
and
step,
reflect. Yes.
sometimes just that baby step. I feel like I'm not gaining a lot of momentum. I've just gone this little bit further, but reminding myself perspective that is this much further than it was before, and accept all forward movement.
Do you know that when you stay stuck, you're making a choice? You are actually making a decision. Even if
How?
you're letting default happen in your business, right? So by default, things are just going to happen. How about if we could go ahead and move forward, walk by faith, and just move forward one step and start making things happen? Terry Ann, can I ask you to do me a favor really quick? I know
What's
that
that?
some of our users are coming on and they're not showing up their names, and we want them to interact with us. So, do you want to explain to them how they could show up their names since you're so
We
good at that?
we are using a platform called StreamYard, and StreamYard allows us to post on Facebook. But before Facebook shares your information, they want to be sure that you want us to know who you are. So sometimes your name will come across to us as Facebook user. If you would go to another tab, don't close us down, stay with us. Open up another tab, go to streamyard.com/Facebook. You'll see that at the top of our screen right now. If you will go there, it's going to ask you, do you really want them to know who you are? If you would say yes, then your name will come across on your next posting. You're welcome to stay anonymous, but we would love to interact with you personally.
So maybe if you could drop that link in the chat, that would be helpful too, TerryAnn. Could you do that? So, good morning. Good morning. I see a few people have came on. And what we wanted to ask, like I said, is how do we, even when obstacles get in our way, how do we just make our business happen? How do we figure out which part of our business that we need to walk by faith? So we'd love to hear from all of our audience or people that are on here. What are some obstacles or ways that you've walked and went ahead and made things happen, even when tough times happen, right? Or crazy times. Maybe it's not even tough. Things don't always go as planned. Did you know that, TerryAnn?
I've run across that a time or two.
I just recently was meeting with a client that was like, I hate it when I can't find my keys or I can't find my shoes or I can't. And I go, oh, you're making me think of that song. What is it? Can't remember. You know, where it's crazy. And sometimes there's all these things that we can't control that happen in life. It's a Christian song. I'll have to post it later when we're not live. But anyway, it was too funny because this is the stuff that drives me crazy. Right? I can't sing, but you know what song I'm talking about? So this
No.
is the stuff. Yeah. So when you lose your keys, when you're running late and you end up getting a speeding ticket because maybe you're driving too fast and you can't find this, and life just happens, right? And that even happens in our business. But it's a lot about our perspective, like TerryAnn always talks about, and then looking at the pathways that we can proceed. Oh, wait, I'm talking like TerryAnn. But that's basically what it is, right? So now we have obstacles. So now what are our other choices when this is the stuff that drives us crazy, the stuff that we didn't plan? Like I said, I will have to post that song later. But I thought it was funny when literally I was having a meeting with my client and she was like, losing my keys, I lose my, and all this stuff happens and it's annoying. And I go, it is annoying. And I said, you need to listen to the song. But we can't control that, right? We can't control all the noise around us, but we can control what our next steps are going to be in our business. So what are those next steps that you have taken in your business? Especially, you know what? We're in a crazy time, TerryAnn.
Definitely.
Have you watched the news? I try not to, but oh my goodness, it's a zoo out there, right? So last 18 months, or has it been longer than that now? I don't
It's
know,
been
20
about 18 months,
months.
yeah.
So anyway, last couple of years has been chaos. So what are things that you've done different in your business to get through those obstacles? What are some things that you found out are helpful, TerryAnn, when life, you can't find your keys and your shoes and you get a speeding ticket? And no, that was just that song. But I'm saying when your business does all the chaos, what do you do?
Yes. Somehow you have to find a way, I think, first of all, to calm down the chaos. And sometimes when there's chaos, to me chaos means that there's several things going on at one time. Because if it was just one thing, you could focus on it. But when it's this and this and this and this and they've all piled up, I use the ping pong. I use the ping pong terminology. I'll call a friend and I'll say, okay, the ping pong balls are going off in my head. They're all going so many different directions that I can't focus on one. So she'll talk me down and we say, okay, let's take just one. So if I cannot handle this and this and this and this, the question is, what is one of all these things going on? What is one thing that if you did it would calm down all the others? So find that one thing. Focus on that one thing. Not all the others. Focus on the one thing.
So when you're saying focus on that one thing, I know sometimes I have to do a brain dump. literally, because I don't know. There's so much. Or you have a bad season in your life or an anniversary of somebody's death or whatever comes up, right, in your life. If you brain dump, or I like to call them dear God letters because God already knows. I always say brain dump all the yuck, even if you're feeling right. And if you're angry or if you're whatever or whatever's going on, that's fine. First of all, God already knows. Did you know that? But I always say, don't stay there. Make sure you go end with blessings. And then, of course, the one thing that you can do today, because what did you say? You become paralyzed, right, TerryAnn? I know
Yep.
I've done that. Become paralyzed because there's so many things. But if you could just brain dump, reprioritize, and figure out what's that one thing you can do. Do you know what one thing I used to do when all the computers used to go down at work and I would get overwhelmed? I was a system analyst, so I had to, well, I broke the stuff. And when the stuff was broke, I had to figure out who needed to fix the stuff. And TerryAnn, you're analytical like me. You understand you had to analyze and drill down. And sometimes the problem did not just pop out. And you
Right.
knew it couldn't be that hard. And Gerald, I always love to quote my friend Gerald, who I've just recently lost. But anyway, and today happens to be his birthday. So happy birthday in heaven. But anyway, not about that. But Gerald used to tell me, go get a cup of coffee. But we already had coffee at the office, right? So I would be like, I'm going across the street to get a cup of coffee. People would be like, the whole system's down. I know, and I'll be back. But walking away from the problem, getting some fresh air, breathing, and coming back and getting a different mindset and perspective. I don't know about you, TerryAnn. You've probably done this too when you're analyzing something. Pop,
Mm-hmm.
it was literally right there. I could have had a VA. Don't know why I couldn't see it amongst the forest, amongst the trees.
Right.
But you know why? You were overwhelmed. There was so much and so much pressure. And if you just walk across the street and get a cup of coffee and go walk by faith, then you know what? Come back, breathe, and figure out what is that one thing I can do to try to analyze this situation? Or what is that one thing I can do to try to get through this situation?
I find my best ideas come when I'm taking a shower.
You want to know why? Nobody's around to bug you.
Nobody's around to bug me. That's true. There's no phone calls. There's no Facebook. There's no messages popping up all over the place. But I quit thinking, and all of a sudden, by not thinking about it, the answers are coming. Now, if only I could find some waterproof paper so I could write these stuff down, it would be even better.
Mm-hmm.
When the ideas hit me in the middle of the night, I always hate that because okay, I've got this idea. I don't want to get up and work on this because then I won't get any sleep. But I can't go back to sleep because this is on my mind. I now pick up my phone. I text myself. I'll send myself an email. What? Because now I've written it down. I know I won't forget it. I know I'm going to see it. I can go back to sleep. I used to before the days of instant email and all that. I used to pick up my phone and call my office phone and leave myself a message. But it
That's
worked because it got out of my head.
That's too funny because you can solve problems, right? Like I've been at work all day, couldn't figure it out in the middle of the night. It comes to me. But I figured out that my husband never liked it when I turned on the lamp and started writing.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up with a better solution. I
What's
would
that?
leave a notepad, and I still do it. Sometimes I
Mm-hmm.
forget, but I leave a notepad in the bathroom. So if you lock yourself in the bathroom and you write down, came up with speech topics. I came up with solving problems. I came up with I don't know if it was a good to-do list, but a to-do list in the middle of the night. And if you put it down and you write it down, then you're not up all night worrying that you're going to forget in the
Mm-hmm.
morning. Why does your brain decide, right? I think it's because, like I said, there's no in the shower. I go for walks. And oh my gosh, I come up with some great, right? Or I can figure out what I need to do next. Or I reflect and I pray. But
And that's what
I want to ask our audience some of the things that they do and if they would respond. But go ahead, TerryAnn. I wasn't trying to cut you off
no,
either.
that's yeah. Now, so that leads me to thinking like when you talked about a brain dump. Sometimes that's where my to-do list has to come in. I've got to write down because there's so much going on. I'll go over this direction and I'll forget about that one, but that one was much more important. So that's where writing down everything, free flow writing for a while, just to get it all out. And then find through all of that, oh, you know what? They are all related to this.
Mm-hmm.
Writing, journaling. I know some people hate that word journaling, but I think journaling makes a big difference too. You're getting the main thing is you are getting it out. Grammar doesn't matter. Nobody's going to read it but you. It's just you and your feeling. And I'm so frustrated today. And writing those words out can make a big difference.
And
Let's
if
see, who
being
do we
an
have here?
entrepreneur or a business, of being an entrepreneur or a business owner or living through this pandemic has not taught you one thing, to be adaptable and realize that things don't
Yeah.
always go. And I'm not saying don't have a plan. Oh my gosh, I'm all about the plan, right? And having goals, but to realize that you're going to do some ups and downs and right circles and
Hmm.
right. And but the thing is, what can we do next to move us further to what that goal was? Or do we need to redirect and rechange our goals? I know, like I said, what was it, 20 months ago when the whole world shut down? There was a lot of redirecting going on in businesses. And I was right in the middle of all that with my business owners. But it was crazy, right? And you had to pivot and redirect. So, what is it? So,
So yeah, think about that as a trip. You are going. Say your office is downtown, and you get out there, you get on the road, and there's a roadblock here. Were you just going to turn around and go back home? No, you have to be there. You have people to meet. So what do? You don't just paralyze, stop in the middle of the road and say, well, gosh, there's your roadblock there. Don't know what I'm going to do. You find a different path. Apply that same analogy then
yeah,
to
exactly.
to the other parts of your life. I have a goal. I'm going to get here. How am I going to get there? We don't paralyze when we're driving, so how do we keep going when we're at home
So good
or
morning,
work or
good morning.
whatever?
It's great to see a lot of people on here. And that's
Who
what
do
we
we
want
have?
to know is what do you do when obstacles happen in your life? And what do you do? You're not going to, like TerryAnn said, just drive back home, especially if you have people that depend on you. And I don't know about you, but I always have to get a paycheck at the end of the day. And when you're a business owner or entrepreneur, you have to always move forward to come up with a new opportunity, the new things going on in your business. So how do you do that? So those are some of those questions that we are
Mm-hmm.
asking, and we would love for you, the audience, to answer those as well.
Sheri, where do you find your most calming moments when you're in the midst of that? And how do you make yourself realize where you're at and that you need to take that coffee break?
When I go for a walk, I'm not kidding, I can get my mind all right. So I will go for my 2 or 3 mile walk, but I haven't been able to do that much because I've had some problems with my foot. And right now, I don't know about you, but the heat. But then when I say that, there's another time. I don't know about you, but I start off my day with meditation, prayer, focus, devotion, at the seat of Jesus, if you want to say. And you can find so much calmness in that as well. And sometimes when the weather is going to get nicer here, believe me, it will. It won't be this hot in Kansas City, I promise you. Sitting on my back deck, even, and having a cup of coffee and just reflecting on nature and putting things in perspective. Today, if you guys are following me, you will see I made a post today regarding my friend Gerald Harris, who is my second dad, my mentor, and my friend. And today is his birthday, and he died 5 days after his birthday last year. So it's been a year since he was gone. But what I said in my post, and I couldn't believe it this morning when I said it, but it's true. Even if you have that person, Gerald was that person I would call, and he'd laugh, and he'd sometimes put life in perspective. God is definitely more than Gerald, believe me. That person that will laugh, that will hug you, that will comfort you and help you put life in perspective. So what do you have to do to put life in perspective? And like you said, journaling, brain dumping, going to God, going for a walk. There's so many ways to do it. or phoning that friend. If you have a
Mm-hmm.
great friend, mentor friend, second dad, like I did, to help you put life back in perspective, because that's those
Allison
are
says
things you have to do.
Allison says she calls her life coach.
Who said that?
Allison says she calls her life coach.
Which is you, right?
I don't know who her life coach is,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but she calls her life coach, and that's it. We all need that. We all need that somebody. At the time when my pain was really extreme and first started years ago, I would call a friend. There was one particular friend I'd call and I would say, "Just talk to me." That's all I had to tell her,
Yep.
and she would just. She could tell. I mean, she could tell a story about walking across the street and make it funny. She would get me to laughing. Yes, the pain was still there, but now my perspective changed because now
Yep.
I was experiencing the laughter. So with that little bitty change, I could now then go ahead and go forward, finish whatever I was doing. So whether you call a life coach, your best friend, whoever you call, just somebody, just you don't have to talk about the problem. Change the perspective. It's like going into the shower. All of a sudden, the chaos slows down. The ping pong balls all kind of start to settle down, and then you can find that one thing.
I will say the shower doesn't always work, TerryAnn. I had 4 kids, and I had a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, a newborn, and a 13-year-old at the same time. And yes, my daughter-in-law asked me with one baby how you take a shower. And I was like, one baby? Try it with 3. Don't worry, the 3 babies, the 3, the 2, and the newborn would all be in the bathroom with me. So it's really hard to concentrate when you got that. So if you got small children, or if you have a lot of other chaos taking care of aging parents, or you got other things that you might not actually get to go to the restroom, I actually think it's a blessing nowadays, because I'm a empty nester and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do this and literally reflect. And tomorrow, God willing, I'm going to do my car trip, and I'm going to do it all by myself. Yep. Yep. See, sometimes the shower is a place to hide, but you got to have older kids to do it. I got to tell you, or the bathroom, right? And that's why I learned too to go for walks, right? Even the gym. Did you know the gym's a good place to hide out? I know some people are going, I don't like the gym. But even the gym, while you're working out and you're there by yourself, I love people, but people at the gym sometimes want to talk to you. So even if you have those headsets on, TerryAnn, and I'm looking at them going, I'm at the gym because I'm running away and I don't need you to bug me. But it's too funny. So anyway, yeah. So it's all about the perspective of where you're at. Where do you have to go? Where do you have to go hide, as Kathy just said, so that you can, change your perspective and change your, yeah. And laughter, like TerryAnn said, is the best medicine, is just to know somebody cares, have somebody laugh.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We need to worry about those people that we need in our life. Somebody said their life coach, TerryAnn, I'm sure. But anyway, if you have a
She
coach,
said, "Yes, I am."
if you have a if you have a coach, you have a right mentor, you have friends. These are all those different people that you need in your life to keep your perspective. And if you don't have those, you really, really need to reach out. And when I say friends, I mean real friends and cheerleaders and mentors and coaches. And,
Mm-hmm.
you need those people in your life. And I never realized that people didn't have those in their life. Like, I'm very blessed. The last, I guess, it's been 31 years. About when I was 20, I had those people in my life. And I don't know how people make it when they have obstacles, or they have, right? And of course,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make this a sales pitch, but somebody even said, TerryAnn. TerryAnn's here. You can work with TerryAnn as your life coach. I'm here. But there's
Mm-hmm.
also other coaches and other mentors out there. But find those people, because you know what? Especially being an entrepreneur and a business owner, you are not in this by yourself. And you know what? There's more and strength of others, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't try to do business by yourself. Even if that's why you went into business, don't. And as Kathy Weaver would say, go find your tribe, right? Make
Yes.
sure you have those people. I mean, it's so important. So anyway, that's what
Yeah.
my big
And
thing today is.
the thing is, when you're talking to someone else, what you're doing, you're not so much asking them to fix your problem. Sometimes the advantage there is just speaking to someone by saying it out loud, not necessarily to yourself. Well, I talk to myself a lot, but somehow when I say the same thing to someone else, saying it out loud, all of a sudden I go, oh, that's what that meant. Because now I'm hearing the words. That person didn't have to say a thing. Sometimes, sometimes I call a friend and say, okay, just listen. Let me get this out. Getting it out. All of a sudden, I can see some of the answers, some of the possibilities, which I didn't see because it was chaotic. By speaking it out loud, it became it slowed down to where I could see the whole thing instead of the images just kind of rushing past me. All of a sudden, they slowed down. Moved it into slow motion, and then I can pick out that, that. Sheri, did you know that after all of this month, we're talking about, well, last month we talked about making life happen. This month, oh, I like that. Saying, please take me, how does she word that? Please take me down off this ledge. That's good words. Yes, that's what it feels like, a ledge.
I don't know
We
about you, just to piggyback on that really quick. There's been times when I've had a lot going on in my life,
mm-hmm.
right? I mean, a lot. Like my brother never got identified and died in the Pentagon 9/11, and I was pregnant through that. And then we got ripped off on our house. And this is not about what I have going on in my life. What I'm trying to tell you is I didn't even know what to pray at that point. I didn't even know, but to say to God,
Mm-hmm.
you know what's going on, God. You know the plan, and you know what my next steps are. Can you reveal those to me? Because I have no idea at this point in my life. So when she talked about help me off the ledge, you can do that with God too, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
got people, because God has physically put people in our journey, in our life. But anyway, I just wanted to say that there is times
Sure.
when your prayer can just be, I don't know God, but you do. And that's okay. And I
That's
just want to
okay.
make sure that people know that you can't get in those, I call them Job moments, right? Those moments in your life.
Sure. Sure. Um, Last month we talked about making life happen. This
Mm-hmm.
month we talked about making business happen. Next month, accomplishments and our why.
Mm-hmm.
Keep moving forward.
Yeah.
How's that for a theme? I like that theme. Next week, you want to know? You always ask me. I'm gonna jump in and get to it before you ask me this
Oh
time,
no, because
Sheri.
I was going to say this week, I was going to trump you.
What What are we you putting off that you want to accomplish?
Yeah, so next week we're going to talk about that because
That's
we're
our
actually
question.
starting a new month, September. And TerryAnn and I've been doing this for 50 weeks. Can you believe it? So in 2 weeks is our 1 year anniversary of Conversations with Sheri and TerryAnn. And we're going to talk about next week. What accomplishment have you been wanting to do? I mean, what have you been wanting to accomplish, but you keep putting that off? What is it? And yes, we're going to talk about next month, like you said, about accomplishments and our why. Because if you got to keep your why, are you doing whatever you're doing? And what are your accomplishments that you want to get done? So anyway, but next week, think about it. Think about, what do you want to accomplish? Can you believe that we are more than halfway through the third quarter? Yeah, come October, we're going into fourth quarter. Scare you. Think you told me today is August 25th? That's crazy, right? So what are we going what are you trying to what have you been wanting to accomplish this year, this month, that you're putting off? And we'll look forward to talking with you guys next week regarding that.
Sounds good. Everybody else, make it a great day, and we will see you next week on Conversations with Sheri and TerryAnn.
Yes, make it a great day. Oh, thank you on our congratulations of 50 episodes. I know, so amazing.